Monday, 8th grade. Mr. O here. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to spring. That snow was crazy, but it finally feels like actual spring now. Go ahead and hit pause and try to figure out the part of speech and definition of scrupulous. All right. Aircraft manufacturers must be scrupulous with the placement of screws. Let's just plug in a different word into the structure of that sentence. Aircraft manufacturers must be blank. They must be smart. They must be careful. They must be safe. They must be, they must be dumb. Yeah, I mean, if you just plug in a random word there and you ask yourself, well, the word that I just plugged in, what part of speech is that? Dumb, smart, careful. Those are adjectives. Let's look at that second sentence. Because his parents are such blank people, think about what part of speech people are. People, and just like aircraft manufacturers, they're both nouns. They're people. So what kind of people? They're scrupulous. So again, this is clearly an adjective. Now, what might it mean? His parents are such scrupulous people, he knew the difference between right and wrong. So maybe they're moral people? I don't think this sentence is very useful. That first sentence, though, the aircraft manufacturers, they have to be scrupulous with the placement of screws. Now, to me, it seems like based on the picture, scrupulous means like there are a lot of screws. But I mean, if you think about an actual airplane, if you don't have a screw in the right place, that's a big problem. So you have to be very careful, right? You have to be very precise. So scrupulous means like very precise, very careful. His parents are very careful people. They are careful in that they realize it's important that, people know right from wrong. So, anywho, now let's see if you can figure out scrupulousness. What part of speech would that be? Abraham Lincoln is known for his scrupulousness. He's known for his blank. Typically, if you have the word his, it'd be like his soccer ball, his couch, his house. So scrupulousness would be a noun. How about scrupulously? The clerk scrupulously followed. What part of speech is followed? Followed is a past tense verb, so scrupulously describes the verb, which makes it a adverb. Very good. Hopefully you guys got that. This is going to be a short class today. I want to give you guys time to write and work on your homework due on Wednesday. So I want you to open your book up to page 54 if you have the hardcover. If you have a softcover book, it's probably page 50, but some of the softcover books are different. So we're on the second page of chapter 4, okay? Today we're going to do some creative writing, all right? So you're going to actually rewrite part of this chapter today, all right? And then you're going to have the rest of the class to work on your homework that is due on Wednesday, all right? So that's chapters 5 and 6. Find one signpost, make one discussion question. All right, so try to turn that in before class on Wednesday. So, in chapter 4, we have this fight between the Socs and Johnny and Ponyboy, and we know that Johnny actually kills Bob. One of the problems with having a first-person point of view, with having Ponyboy tell the story, we've talked about a few of the problems. One, Ponyboy seems kind of unfair towards Derry. Or is he fair? I don't know. I mean, Derry does hit him. So, anywho, he seems a little unfair, right? And he says that he lies. One of the other problems with having a first-person point of view, if your main character passes out, who's going to tell the story? And that's exactly what happens. The Soc grabs my arm, twists it behind my back, shoves my face into the fountain. I fought. I had to hold my breath. I was dying, I thought, and I wondered what was happening to Johnny. I couldn't hold my breath any longer. I thought, they've gone too far. A red haze filled my mind, and I slowly relaxed. Ponyboy passes out, right? He's drowning. So we don't get to see what happens. That's another problem with having a first-person point of view. The next thing I know, I'm lying there on the pavement beside the fountain. Next thing he knows, he wakes up. We don't know what happened. All right, so that is what you're going to do today. You are going to pick either Bob, the Soc, or Johnny. Okay, pick one or the other, and you're going to rewrite what happened in the park from their point of view. All right, so requirement number 1, this must be told in the first person. That's requirement number 1. Requirement number 2, I want to know what Bob or Johnny are thinking at least 3 times. I want to hear their thoughts. All right. I want to hear them speak at least twice. So those are your 3 requirements, okay? Has to be told in the first person. Want to hear Bob's thoughts 3 times or Johnny's, depending on which character you are. And I want to hear them speak. Your character, if you're Johnny, I want to hear Johnny speak at least twice. Now, you can start this scene wherever you want. I recommend starting when Bob and Randy and all the other socials get out of the car, okay? And here's what I want you to really do. All right, I really want you to get into that character's mind. So let me give you a few things to think about. If you're Johnny, what would you say as you see Ponyboy drowning? Like, what would you say out loud? What is going on in your mind when you take the knife out of your pocket and you realize you need to go and save your friend's life? Like, you realize, oh my gosh, Ponyboy is going to die if I don't do something. I want to hear your thoughts. Now, if you're Bob, what are you thinking when you see Ponyboy and you see Johnny? These are the guys that just tried to pick up Cherry and Marcia, your girlfriend. What do you think? What are you thinking about when you feel that knife go into your back? Like, truly try to get into that character's mind, right? What do you think about in that moment? All right. Here's how you're going to get graded. I want to see that you've written for at least 15 minutes. I want the whole story to be told in first person. I want your character to speak at least 2 times. And I want to hear the main character's thoughts at least 3 times. All right. Now, I'm going to show you the assignment really quick. So it's right here. It's called Monday in-class work and homework. So I put both the in-class work for today and your homework on the same document. I think it's easier for you. That way you don't have to turn in 2 things. You can just turn in 1. Okay? So the first thing I want to show you, your homework is just right here. It looks just like normal. All right? But it's down here on page number 2. Okay? So don't hit turn in until you finish the homework as well. Okay, so here are the instructions again. I'm going to tell the incident in the park from Johnny's point of view. So I'm just going to plug that in. All right. It said blank's point of view. I'm going to do it from Johnny's point of view. And let me give you an example. This might be how you start. The sound of the car horn made me jump. I whirled around and I saw the blue Mustang circling the park. Not again, I thought to myself. I felt my back pocket for my switch. Still there. So there, I'm telling the story from Johnny's point of view, clearly, right? And I'm changing, in the story, Ponyboy's telling the story, right? So now I'm kind of adding in what I think Johnny would be thinking, all right? Now, I want you to write for about 15 or 20 minutes, okay? So start the scene wherever you want. I started this scene a little bit earlier. Maybe you start when they first get out of the car, all right? Maybe you end the scene when Bob gets stabbed. Maybe you go a little bit further, okay? Now, what if I told the story from Bob's point of view? Here's what I might do. So here, I'm going to have Bob and Randy talking in the car. Randy, look, it's those greasers that tried picking up Cherry, I said. Oh yeah, let's teach those scum to stay away from our women, Randy nodded. I turned the car and drove directly across the park right towards those nasty, greasy bums. All right, so again, imagine you are Bob, imagine you are Johnny, and retell this chapter, okay? Now, there's dialogue in the book. You don't need to keep it. Change it. You can keep some of the dialogue, but what I want to hear your character's thoughts. That's what I really want to see. All right? When you're all done with that, your homework is down there and hit turn in. That's all I got for you today. Hope you guys are doing well. Love you guys. Take it easy.